Hello, my name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today I want to talk about data privacy and social security numbers. So, in the US, every person that's born in the US gets a social security number from birth. So, it's like a cradle to grave number that you get. And so, social security numbers were created in the 1930s as a way to track people's wages and their eligibility for Social Security benefits if, for example, they got injured or once they retired, a certain amount of money that they paid into the system, they would get back in terms of payments of some sort. What has happened with Social Security numbers, first of all, the Social Security number really is the only federal level identifier of a person that is the same kind of across state lines. And so, because of that, a lot of companies and organizations over the years started trying to use Social Security numbers as a form of identification for people. And it was never intended to be like a national ID number or anything like that. And because of that, a lot of, in present day, a lot of the data breaches that we have in the US and a lot of the problems that we have in terms of people like identity theft really centered around this social security number, right? So, because a lot of companies like banks or insurers, they use that number, but also cybercriminals like that number as well because they can get someone's social security number, they can buy houses, cars, they can get medical treatment, different things because a lot of things are attached to that number. There's also a lot of identity theft with children. So, children who, for example, are under, let's say, 18, a lot of times their social security number gets stolen so that people use it for certain services. Maybe they get like accounts with like light and gas companies for different things, or they also buy things for that. And so social security number has been like a huge problem in the US, and it continues to be. Some companies are trying to roll back their use of social security number. So once maybe they use it to identify you as part of part of a identification protocol, but at some point, some of them they're trying to wean themselves away from overuse of social security numbers, and especially if you're doing something that is not government related or is not like a super um, sensitive matter, you probably shouldn't use social security numbers. I know some companies once, like I would get letters many, many years ago where your social security number would just be on the letter. So companies now, they aren't doing that, thankfully. Some companies still use, like, for example, for authentication purposes, they'll ask you to put in your last four digits of your social security number, which is a terrible idea as well. I'm hoping to see more companies move away from that. Like if they need it, for example, to authenticate someone the first time, maybe give them another different number that's unique to them and unique to that transaction, as opposed to something that can be used over and over again and possibly in nefarious ways. I think other people in other countries probably don't understand that as well about the U.S. about the Social Security number, and this is another reason why, for example, the federal government is trying to do this real ID thing, is to try to mimic or create something that is similar, maybe to a Social Security number or similar in some way, to use as an identity document that isn't a Social Security number, isn't something that can be used for nefarious purposes and creates more risk for the individual. That's it. Thank you.